Do you want me to
Okay.
do the decimal board?
Oh, we've started.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Bloopers are fine.
Okay.
Hey guys, it's me. I've got Miss Tracy here. She's going to be my student for this lesson on measurement of length. So this is a great lesson for everybody in lower L, and hey, upper L, if you're here, come on in and enjoy a review of an old friend, this great lesson on measurement. So I want to talk to you today, Emily, about measuring length. And I have a book here, Our Children's Thesaurus. Hint, hint, if you haven't watched the story that Miss Circe read aloud earlier on Roger and his thesaurus, I advise you to do that either right before you do this lesson or maybe right after. So I have a thesaurus here, and I want to know how long this book is. So Emily, before we can find out how long our book is, we have to decide on a unit of measurement. Okay. So a unit of measurement can be just about anything as long as we have a few of them and they're all the same length or the same size. So in the classroom, often we start by using paper clips. So let me see. There's one paper clip, and paper clips are great because we have a bunch of them. They like to stick together, so I can't use all of those. But you see, they're all uniform in length. Now, is it possible to have a collection of paper clips at home that are all different lengths? Yes. So before you start measuring with paper clips at home, gather up a few and kind of compare them and make sure they're the same, because we're going to want to use paper clips that are all the same exact size in order to do this measuring. So we have our book here, and Emily, I don't know if you can reach over.
Sure.
But we're going to just start laying these paper clips end to end, and I want you to see if you can tell me how many paper clips long our book is.
So it's going.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like.
Go ahead.
Do you want me to guess?
Yes.
To count? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I would say a half.
Yeah.
So 8.5 paper clips.
I would agree with you. This book is 8.5 paper clips long. So that's wonderful. That was a great way of measuring length. We could take these paper clips now, and we could go all around the classroom. And that's what we would be doing if we were together in the classroom. I would be having you go get a grammar box, a bead frame. You could get any kind of chart, your math facts charts. What else do you think we could measure, Miss Circe?
We could maybe measure Kennedy's cage.
Ooh, could you measure Kennedy's cage in paper clips?
Yeah, maybe. Or a shelf.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I would be sending you right now all around the classroom to find things to measure. They just have to have a straight edge in order to measure their length, because we're focused on length right now. So let's think about, because they're not in the classroom, and I assume you're going to be able to find a stash of paper clips. Most folks will have them. Just check with your parents, please, before you take all of their paper clips. Ask them where to find some paper clips. And the reason I like paper clips for this exercise is because you can use them to measure all kinds of things, and they are still able to be used again for clipping paper afterwards. So you're going to make sure, don't get me in trouble now, after you've gone all around your house measuring things with paper clips, you're going to return them to the drawer or bowl or container that you found them, please. Okay. So let's brainstorm a little bit here, Miss Circe, and then you guys at home are going to brainstorm, look around, and find some things. But I am imagining that you could be measuring, well, obviously books in your house and bookshelves at your house. What else do you think, Miss Circe?
I'm wondering if there are rugs somewhere that they could measure the an area.
That's a nice rectangle to measure. Absolutely.
Or a dresser.
Yep.
Or a bedside table.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I'm sure you guys will come up with a lot more ideas. Okay. Before I send you off to go measuring, I also want to talk to you about other units of measurement besides paper clips that we could use. Remember, a unit of measurement is just a standard. By a standard, I mean we have to choose something that is going to be our unit that are all the same size. So another idea that I had was toothpicks. We have a jar of toothpicks that we use for a variety of things in the classroom. You might have a box or a bowl or a jar of toothpicks at home. Ask your mom or dad. And toothpicks, unfortunately, once you've used them to measure things around your house, you have to clean them all up. You can't miss a single one because they're pokey, right? And they're going to get caught in the vacuum cleaner. So pick them all up. Make sure you have permission first. The other thing about toothpicks is they won't be able to be used for any food or, picking teeth after you have measured a rug with them. So again, check with parents. Parents, you may veto any of these ideas that don't work out at your house for some reason.
If you have blocks or Legos at your house that you could turn into a unit of measure, that might be something to choose as well.
Yes, this is a fantastic time for Legos. Just make sure you are using Legos that are all the same length. Mm-hmm. The little squares would be perfect, or if you have the long bricks, but just make sure you're mm-hmm. digging through and finding the ones that are all the same length in order to use them as a unit of measurement. So I will want you to record this, and I didn't grab myself a piece of paper, but I think this will be just fine. Can I have that Sharpie, please?
Oh, the Sharpie?
I think that'll be easier to see. So remember that when you are recording, I measured my book, so I'm going to write book. You could write, if you're measuring many books, go ahead and write the name of the book. So I might write thesaurus equals, and it was 8 1/2. Now, when you are recording measurement, you are recording two pieces of information. One is the number, and the second piece of information is
the unit.
The unit of measurement, right. This is a person who's practiced this lesson. Okay, so I'm going to write, and my paper is not quite long enough, but I'm going to write it like this. Paper clips. Oh, wait, where's my camera? Okay, there, I hope you can see that. Okay, so I've labeled the item that I measured. I've got my number and my unit of measurement. That is very important because in later stories, we're going to talk about some of the conventional units of measurement that we use that you're familiar with already, like inches and feet. We're going to talk about that in later videos. And that unit of measurement has to be there. Okay, I have some silly ones to show you if you want. We're going to measure this book a couple more times. So I did bring some toothpicks. So Emily, would you like to measure this book in toothpicks?
Yes.
Try to put it where folks can see.
I'm going to start on the far side.
And then I will record. How about that?
It looks like this book is 4 toothpicks long.
Okay, so I didn't really think carefully before I did this, so I'm gonna put my equal sign over here because we're still measuring the book. Did you say 4 toothpicks?
I did.
Oh, okay, that wasn't as many as I thought. 4 toothpicks is my next measurement of this book. So I've recorded that. Okay, now I brought some other silly things you could try to measure with from home. These are not exactly the same. You might want to pick better oranges than I have. But if you have a bag of those mandarin oranges at home, why don't you try measuring some things with your mandarin oranges? Again, please ask for permission. Parents, you may always say no to any of these ideas. Okay. All right. And then the other thing I thought of that would be a very good standard, Remember all the toilet paper you guys have been buying up? Okay. You could use toilet paper rolls as a unit of measurement. Now, obviously, for these two examples, I didn't quite have enough for my object that I was trying to measure, but guess what I can do? I can use my finger and just mark that spot. Yep, go ahead. And then I can keep using the same ones over and over. So it looks like we're just about 3, not quite 3, a little less. So let's say, I don't know, 2 5/8 of this, I don't know.
Sounds good.
Anyway, you get the idea. I don't need to go on. Don't make a mess. If you want to keep doing lessons with me this way, your parents are going to be expecting that you're cleaning up after you practice these. So I'm expecting that too. Don't forget, your parents have a hotline to me. They can email me, and they can, I'm even going to set up meetings with them and with you. But if your parents are feeling frustrated because you've taken all the oranges, toothpicks, and toilet paper and measured everything and then left it out, I'm going to hear about it. So please make sure you're cleaning up thoroughly. Go ahead and record all of those measurements that you take throughout your house, throughout your yard. Go outside, and you can, if you've had experience with conventional measuring tools like rulers and yardsticks, go ahead and take those outside and measure. Record all of it on your lined paper and save it for when we meet, either via video conferencing or perhaps one day when school is back in session. We'll meet, and I'd like to see all this work, okay? Don't forget to decorate your work too. You've got your colored pencils, I'm sure, okay? I would like to add one more story to this lesson. So I definitely expect a lot of measuring practice. But then I wanted to tell you the story of the way they measured things in the old days back in Egypt. Some of you will remember this story. Couldn't tell you what piece of paper it's on. One of those. Okay. I probably don't need the paper, but so ancient Egypt, the way that they used to measure just about everything was by using the Pharaoh's foot. Now, obviously, they didn't go get the Pharaoh and bring him to their house if they needed to measure to build a fence, but it was the length of the Pharaoh's foot that was the standard. That was the unit of measurement. And that is, by the way, why we today use the name foot for this 12 inches. Okay, so what if you were the Pharaoh? What if you were the ruler? That's where we got that word too. If you were the Pharaoh, how long would your foot be? Well, let's find out. So here's another way you can practice. Okay, let's see. I didn't really practice this with the camera, so give me 1 second.
Do you want me to get your piece of
I had
paper?
a piece of construction paper here.
I
I had a yellow piece.
Why don't I get a piece?
Oh, for Pete's sake. Okay.
Okay, white. That work?
White will be fine. Okay, I'm not going to stand on the table for you. Maybe another day. So I've just taken off my shoe. I'm just going to do it this way. You can go ahead and take your shoes and socks off, or however you're comfortable, and trace your foot on a piece of paper. Some of you have done this with me already. Okay, and you're going to label it my ruler. Okay, and then you're going to cut it out. We would be doing this in the classroom together in small groups. I think if everyone was trying to do this at once, that would get kind of crazy. Okay, so you're going to take your ruler. You're going to take your ruler now, And this is a good one for measuring a long table. If you have a long kitchen table or dining room table, the counters in your kitchen, the length of the rooms in your house. What else, Miss Circe? The rugs again are good.
Yeah, you could do your driveway or maybe your porch or a sidewalk if you some
absolutely. That's great. So I want to see lots and lots of measuring with this. Mom and dad, this is going to be a good one for them to practice, right? Because this is not making quite as much of a mess as my other ideas. And then you're going to label, you're going to record. So I'm going to record, let's see, let me quickly measure this table. And again, we're going to use that technique where we go 1, and then we use our finger, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a half. Okay, so table equals 5.5 Fortun feet. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and do it, and it's going to say Arish feet, or Mia feet, or Jazzy feet. Fill in the blank with your name, you get it. Okay, so I want to see lots of recording now of all the things in your house that you measured with your oranges and your paper clips and your rulers. Okay. Any questions, you know the email, you know how to get a hold of me, and I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I'm going to have a companion video to go with this lesson, which is another story all about the units of measurement that we use in the United States, which are called imperial measurements, and the measurements used by the rest of the world, which are called metric measurements. So look forward to that story. It goes right along with this lesson. And if you have reviewed all of those things, I'm talking now more to my 2nd and 3rd graders. If you've reviewed all of this and done a little practice around your home, then the next step, if you're looking for more of a challenge, would be to watch Miss Circe's lesson on area. That would be your next step. I might throw in another one about area too, just to bridge the gap. So maybe my lesson on area and then Miss Circe's lesson on area. But I'll tell you all about that in an email. Okay. Thanks, guys. It's been fun sitting with you today. I'll talk to you again soon. Okay.
Bye.
Bye, guys.